Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, back to another report from your local weather boy. Today's weather has been pretty good. This morning is foggy as all hell. I mean, you couldn't really go all too far without, I could barely see the sides of the road at some points in my trip to school this morning. But apart from this morning, the weather has been pretty good. It's sunny out. It isn't extremely high temperatures out, but it isn't really cold. Feels pretty good. Let's say it's maybe 70 degrees out. Actually, that may be kind of a bit high, but point is, it feels good out. Today's unsponsored segment is brought to you by my fourth period, my third and fourth period. In third period today, we designed two parts. One was like a dovetail thing with a cross section cut out of it, and the other was like this weird little box thing. I don't even know what that would be used for in real life, but two little simple challenges. I yet again am one of the fastest people to finish in that class, so everybody was done maybe 50 minutes in class. I was done 10 minutes in class. That's all for my third period. In fourth period, today we started going over limits on graphs without a calculator, and we also started how do I explain this mentally, because I don't know how to actually explain it. We did limits in the sense of, as x approaches this number from either the left side or the right side, the limit's at this point or this point, because we're doing like a piecewise function, which, if for those of you that don't know what a piecewise function is, I envy you. I wish you were me right now. But a piecewise function is like a graph with multiple lines, and like they stop randomly or they start at random spots. They keep going and doing whatever. We were finding the stop and start points of like two graphs, like graph f of x and graph g of x, and from those two things, so it'd be like, what is the limitation of the graph f of g of x from as x approaches like -1 or something, and you'd go from the inside thing, which would be g of x, and g of x would be some like 5 or 3, and then we'd go over to the f of x graph and be like, okay, so from like that point on this graph, hang on, actually no, with limitations, then you would be going to the same spot, but if they did not equal the same number, so say on the f of x graph, if it was coming from above or below, and you went to that point, if it did not equal like 5 or whatever number you got for g of x, then I think we're technically supposed to write does not exist, but I also don't really remember that class. Don't remember that class. I don't remember what exactly the teacher told us to put there. But if you're finding like where the limitation is, not from as x approaches whatever number, then one's a lot easier in the sense of, say, same problem f of g of x, then say g of x is 3, then you'd go to 3, like the x value of 3 on the f of x graph, and then you type in the y value right there, and it turns out pretty interesting. I've got some homework to do for tonight, and I've got my first quiz on this section of the chapter tomorrow, so should be an interesting time tomorrow for me. Anyways, I do believe that'll be all for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Adios.